would like to make clear that this is a call out post at future me. I'm watching you. You don't get to buy any of these things, okay? Unless there are some major changes in your style or personality. Hello, and welcome back to Beauty Bee. So today we're going to be talking about 10 beauty products that I won't use, but I've purchased before. Sometimes multiple times. Why? I'm not sure. Wish I could tell you. However, with this video, hopefully I will now just have a list of things that I shouldn't buy pretty much for any reason. I think that's an intro. Let's get into it. Number 1, full coverage foundation. How many times have I made this mistake? Like 3, at least. Number 1 is full coverage foundation. I don't like the way foundation feels on my skin. I mean, I think you can tell that I do not have fantastic skin. I don't have any coverage on right now, but it's okay. I feel fine going out into the world looking like this. But I think my distaste for foundation started when I was in high school, when I really did have quite a bit of acne, and I didn't like that, of course. So I would put quite a lot of foundation on, and I just hated the feeling of it. It was so thick. I didn't understand what powder was, so it always broke down on me. I remember putting my hand to my face during an exam. I think I was like, well, I write with my right hand. So I was probably doing this and just writing and taking it away and just seeing all the oil and foundation. It was like, first of all, my skin just eats foundation, I think. I have normal skin. Second that foundation goes on, it starts feeling oily. Don't know why that happens, but it does. So we just stay away from it now. And I don't need to buy it again. Number 2, on a very similar vein, primer. I don't like primer either. I don't see really much of a use for it if you don't wear foundation. I just don't care. I'm fine living in my own skin as is. I put sunscreen on, I put moisturizer on. I'm good to go. I don't need to spend money on a primer. Again, kind of going off of this chain of, if you don't need foundation, you probably don't need primer. If you don't need foundation, you also likely do not need setting mist or setting spray. Now, I actually currently have 2 of these. I think I decluttered 1. I originally had 3. And I don't have a lot of use for it. When I first moved to the South, I'm originally from the Midwest. I bought 2 of these in pretty quick succession because the first few days in August in the South, man, it was hot, it was humid. I felt like I was dying, and I hadn't actually figured out how I was getting around the campus yet. So it was taking me so much longer than it needed to walk everywhere. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, it's gonna take me like 30-minute walk to get to class every morning. It didn't, it was like 10. I just didn't know how to not go on the main streets. So I bought it thinking that it would help me refresh, but also just because I thought it would be nice to spray on my face after I walked. But I got really used to the weather in just a few days and haven't really used them. Still have probably at least half a bottle left of each, and end is not in sight. I left and ate a lot of pizza and now I'm back. Let's get into the 2 remaining sort of face things. The first are sheet masks. Now, I don't feel like sheet masks are particularly helpful as like a weekly kind of treatment or anything along those lines, I think they're kind of wasteful. I mean, you're throwing away a plastic wrapper and generally the mask itself so often. And I think these are not unreasonable for a special event, or if, uh, knock on wood, I had a really bad acne flare out, I could see myself getting some kind of one use treatment to take care of that. But not for weekly purposes. That seems kind of silly to me. Now moving on to color cosmetics. Really deep blush. Now, you can see me. Do I look like I can really pull off super deep blush? Absolutely not. And can pose that if I was more skilled with makeup, I could do a really nice super sheer wash of color on my cheeks. But I'm not. And I don't want to buy something just to experiment with it to get to the point where I could. Because you know what? I also just don't care that much. I did this in probably September, November, sometime in that area. On Influencer offered to put me in the box for one of the new NYX blushes, and looking over the offerings, I was like, ooh, why don't I choose like a deep red? And then I can get this really sheer wash of color. It'll be cute for winter. And you know what? Absolute clown face. I couldn't get it blended out enough. It was probably on me, but because I'm not that good at makeup, but it was not doing it for me. So I ended up giving it away to a friend who has a much deeper skin tone than me, and I think she likes it. So, I mean, I guess it worked out for someone. I'm in the same boat with these super dark lipsticks. First of all, they even medium deep lipsticks can pull very vampy on me, and that's very rarely the vibe I'm going for. I am much more confident in this, which is a fairly bright lipstick, than I am in a really dark color. Uh, I feel they contrast just a little bit too much with my skin tone. And additionally, I feel like dark colors, at least for me, are just you can't win. Because I don't want it to transfer, because then I have to take care of it. I don't want to have to babysit something throughout the day any more than like reapplying after lunch. But on the other hand, I don't want something super matte. Those never seem to be completely opaque. I feel like there's always a little bit of patchiness, and I don't want my lips to be so dry at the end of the day. Kind of going off the same idea, red pigmented lip gloss. I do not mind a nice little sheer red gloss. That's kind of fun. But I think 2 or 3 times over the years, I've been like, ooh, you know what would be cute? Really glossy, bright red lip. And I'm right. It is really cute for like 10 minutes and then it's a mess. I have a tendency, I don't know exactly what I do, but somehow I think my lip touches right here on my chin somehow. And oh, glossy red is the worst offender for that. I will have like a little stripe and it'll just be constantly every time I'm in the restroom or anything, I'll be like, oh yeah, I gotta take that off. And it just makes me not reach for it. I don't need it. If I really want a glossy red lip, I can put a hint of gloss over a red lipstick. It'll be fine. Now this one's not quite makeup, but glitter nail polish. I don't mean like nail polish that just has a little bit of glitter on it. I mean like those glitter top coats. I haven't tried like a really nice one. I've only used drugstore ones, but I don't love the way it looks. I mean, I think it's pretty, but it's just not worth the hassle of taking it off. I hate that so much. I feel like it once it chips, it looks terrible, and then you have to spend like 20 minutes removing it, and I'm just not patient enough. The last two are eye things. So I like the look of liquid liner a lot on most people, but when I've tried liquid liner, I have just a terrible time. Um, I have quite hooded eyes. I don't think you can really tell in this setting, but what I find happens is when I do put on liquid liner, it almost always transfers right up here. And the ones that don't transfer for me tend to feather out. And I don't even think I have super crepey eyelids or anything, but they do. And I am okay with something soft and diffused as a liner. I mean, I do that. I like using shadow as liner because it's not harsh. But if I'm going, if I were using a liquid liner, I would want it to be very like sleek and almost architectural, not soft and smudgy. I The best one I think I've tried was the Kat Von D. Oh, excuse me, the Kendo Vegan something something, not diphtheria this time. Beauty one, the tattoo liner, which is nice. It worked for me most of the time, but still sometimes I would get a little bit of transfer and just a little bit of feathering if I tried to wing it out. So certainly not worth, what is it, like $24 or something. And I didn't want to buy from Ms. Von D once I learned a little more about her. So the other two that I've tried the Maybelline one. I just bought that one because it was cheap. I've never heard anything good or bad about it. I believe I've tried a Rimmel one and the NYX Epic Incliner. I've tried that one as well. All three of those, both feathered and transferred. So I guess I'm done with liquid final item. I feel like this final item has kind of gone out of style overall. I don't see it as much on YouTube, though maybe I'm just watching the wrong set of YouTubers to see this in action. But the eyelash curlers, I bought one of these from Elf at Emily Noel's recommendation a few years ago. This was probably 2016, maybe early 2017. And I just didn't like using it. Eyelash curlers are just really horrifying to me. They look like something you would find in some vivisectionist's lab in the Victorian era. Um, they're sort of sterile, medical looking. The tart one I find really creepy because it is like a pineapple or something, and it's like it's hiding. It's a lash curler, and therefore some kind of torture device. Like, tell me that if you woke up chained to a table and you saw someone standing over you with an eyelash curler, that you would not be more afraid than if you just woke up chained to that. Well, there's 10 things that I have bought and didn't end up using nearly as much as they should have. Now that I've talked through the list, my resolve to not purchase these things in the future is somehow even stronger. And yeah, again, future heiress, behave.